Witch of Jasmine, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a reading for Capricorn moons. How are you today, Capricorn moons? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for stopping on by. I have a reading for you. Oh my gosh. My cat, Cheralyn, is back there. I think she's a little sleepy right now. It's afternoon nap time. But if you start hearing noises in the background, that's what that is. It's just my silly little kitten. Just like always. Oh my god, why do these keep falling? Anyway, as I'm shuffling out your cards, I invite you to take some deep breaths to calm yourself, ground yourself. Oh my god, center yourself. Okay, I guess that's it. Get relaxed, get comfy. Let's see what's going on with you guys. So for your oracle card, we have grounding. I'm not surprised. With Virgo and the earth element. For your tarot cards, we have Knight of Cups, Nine of Cups. Here's Cheralyn. Hi, Cheralyn. The Empress reversed. Page of Wands reversed. Four of Athames reversed, aka Four of Swords reversed. And lastly, Five of Wands. Okay, so we've got a lot going on here. I'm kind of not really sure where to start, but I can say something that I think would be very important for you, and something you should keep in the back of your head while I'm talking about all of this. I get the sense that things are a little chaotic, a little all over the place, and that's fine. Chaos isn't always bad, and honestly, I think I'll get more into that in a minute. But I think we definitely want to try and find some ways to still ground and like still stay centered and focused and keep on moving, right? Not getting too in your head. I'm actually a little surprised. I thought this would be like full of, I thought that this is going to be like full of swords energy and air energy. So interesting how that's not really there, because that's what I'm feeling a lot of, is very like airy, windy, very in your head kind of energy. Because all of this being said, I do think you are mentally actually in a pretty decent spot. There's definitely some things we want to address here, but generally speaking, at the center of this reading, we have the Nine of Cups with Four of Athames reversed, Four of Swords reversed. Four of Swords is about feeling very bored, apathetic, directionless, unmotivated, all of that stuff. So having it reversed is like kind of overcoming that, kind of getting out of that shell, out of that little bubble, and being like, you know what? Actually, I think I know exactly what I'm going to do. I feel motivated. I feel ready. I'm feeling good. And because we have it with the 9 of Cups, I kind of feel like it's, especially emotionally, that's really what's gotten you out of that. Because 9 of Cups is that like, it's associated with like luxury, living comfortably, having, you know, everything that you need, all of your wants and needs met. So I think that feeling, actually, you know, I think that feeling and wanting to go, using that like desire for stability and security and comfort, that's like motivating you, right? That's what you're working towards. But I also think that that's kind of what's also getting you out of this anyway. I kind of want to say like the past tense. It's what got you out of this already. Finding, you know, finding opportunities that you currently have right now to feel more stable, secure, comfortable, as you're kind of progressing towards this thing that you're trying to go after, right? But again, with the 9 of Cups, I think there's also a very emotional aspect to all of this as well. Like, I think you're less, at least right now in this moment, I think you're less driven by more material things. And it is more just like emotionally, you know, this is how I want to feel. Because the 9 of Cups is kind of the opposite of 4 of Swords in a lot of ways, right? With 4 of Swords, you feel very drained. You feel like you have nothing to give, nothing to go towards. So I think you have found these ways to find that now. But I will say too, with the Page of Wands reversed, I feel like because you're going so much and kind of just being very emotionally driven right now, which funny enough is very much not a Capricorn moon trait. I try not to bring astrology into this because I feel like that's unfair. But now that I'm saying it, it's just kind of making me wonder if because you're being so emotionally driven towards whatever it is you're trying to bring in or do right now, whatever place you're trying to get to right now, maybe that's not something you typically do. Because with the Page of Wands, it's telling me you don't really have much of a plan. There isn't much of a solid, structured approach to this of like, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. You're kind of just going towards what feels good. And that's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, there's a lot of good in this reading. It's kind of like chaotic good. That's what this feels like. But of course, just like with everything, we need balance, right? So definitely keep going towards what just feels good and feels right, and letting that emotion kind of flow out of you, right? To avoid kind of feeling this as much as we can. But also Page of Wands, we definitely need like a little structure, you know? A little bit more of a solid plan. I think that would help you. Okay, I know what I've been talking about here is like pretty abstract. Here, this is a little more specific and solid. I don't know what this is referring to, but maybe this is something you're currently dealing with right now, one way or another. I think with the 5 of Wands, I feel like there are probably people, maybe it's just kind of more of an energetic thing or a vibes thing, but I'm assuming it's like specific people who are distracting you. 5 of Wands is about people who are like bickering and arguing and trying to take control of a situation. And I'm kind of feeling like it's a lot of unsolicited advice, unsolicited feelings that people are kind of projecting onto you a little bit. I feel like that's happening here. And again, I'm kind of feeling like this is more of a literal thing, and I'll explain why in a second. But again, this could also just be like kind of more of like a vibes thing that might be kind of adding to the chaos that's going on here. Like maybe because you're feeling so good about all of this and it feels so good and right for you and you're feeling excited, you know, after not being excited for a long time, you kind of want everybody to jump on board, right? You want everybody else to see this and be excited for you and want to support you, right? But I think there's something going on here that's not giving you that. And I believe this Empress reversed represents you kind of wanting to get people on board with you. I think you kind of want to get them on your side. Maybe even kind of for the sake of like getting their validation, so that you feel a little better and more secure about what it is that you're doing. Which, look, that's human nature, right? That's not a bad thing to want that, you know, especially if we are talking about people who are closer to you, like your family or people whose opinions you do care about. You want them to be excited for you, just as excited as you are, right? But maybe you're kind of looking for that to ground you in this, when in reality, it's either not going to happen, you're not going to get their approval or their validation or whatever it is you're looking for anytime soon, if ever. But also because that is very, very fleeting. That is not actually going to ground you in the way we would all think it would, right? Like I said before, I think what's really going to ground you in this and kind of start giving you more concrete results and moving forward, making real progress, is going to start with planning and kind of gathering information and getting more of a grasp of like, okay, where am I at and what's my next few steps, right? I don't think these people are going to help you with that. So by trying to kind of control them or, convince them into like getting on board with you, I think you're wasting some time. And again, like I said, I think whatever it is you're trying to get out of this is actually not really going to work in the long run anyway, you know? It's kind of a situation where you can just stand in your own truth and be like, well, I know there's some doubt. I know there are some people who don't love this or don't believe in me or whatever, but that's kind of just noise right now. And we can reevaluate, right? Later down the line. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it there. Capricorn moons. If you have any questions about this, or if you'd like any part of this clarified, please let me know. You can leave a comment, or you can just reach out to me, whichever you prefer. On the shorts part of my channel, I have hundreds of shorts videos where I talk about each of the cards. I talk about their upright meaning, their reversed meaning, as well as any symbolism within the cards. So if you're feeling particularly drawn to any of these cards, or if you'd like a little more information about any of them, highly recommend you go check that out. But like I said before, I do think you are going in a really good direction. Keep doing what you're doing, right? But I think it would help a little bit if you could, practice some grounding techniques to be able to ground yourself a little bit, maybe to resolve some of the chaos that's going on here. Again, I do think it's chaotic good, except for maybe this part. But this part, honestly, I think you're better off just kind of looking past it for right now, you know? Again, like I said, it's a very good idea to reevaluate at some point, you know, if you think maybe things aren't going as they should, right? But for now, I don't think that's the case. So, like I said, definitely you want to kind of start maybe outlining a bit of a plan, but I also think you don't want to think too far ahead right now. Just make sure you're really focused on and centered in this moment. Sound good? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!